Welcome to our community call, and I'm very excited to present our new Iceberg Write capabilities. For the demo, I'll be using our Iceberg Catalog Connector example. You can follow exactly the same steps, and you can find this example if you go to our documentation homepage, cookbooks. You can find it on the Catalog Connectors example. This example is self-contained. It creates Iceberg Catalog locally based on Docker setup. And the only command you need to run to get this local Iceberg Catalog cluster is Docker Compose. This is the only requirements. I can run it on my machine. Okay, I have my Iceberg Catalog running. And if I go to local MinIO created by this example, I can see my Iceberg Catalog. It's a well-known TPSH dataset, scale factor 1. Go to nation table, and I can see my data in Parquet files and the metadata, the Iceberg metadata. Once I have this local catalog, I can continue and connect to it using Spice. The only parameter I need to specify is the Iceberg catalog pointing to my local endpoint and my local credentials. Now I can run Spice. And we see that catalog registered, and we can try to do some demo query. Tables. We use region as an example. We can see that we can query this Iceberg catalog. Now we can try our new write capabilities. And by default, write mode is disabled. You should enable it by adding special read-write parameter access. And when it's specified, I'm saved the Spice pod, and Spice detected this and restarted. And you can see that catalog restarted and write mode is activated. It's currently in previews, so I see this notification. When it's activated, I can write to the tables using standard insert into SQL. I'll use this example. For example, I'd like to add new region called Antarctica. So I do insert into my Iceberg table above and specify values. Once it's completed, I can see this region added. And if I query the same region table after that, I can now see this new region. To learn more about writes, you can go to SQL reference in our documentation and find new insert section with all details about how you can use SQL, insert into dialect, and what connectors currently support these new read-write capabilities. And we can also go to MinIO to the same table, the region table, and we can see that the data was updated. We added additional Parquet file by using writes, and we see that metadata filtered by date was recently updated during my demonstration. So we actually wrote to this Iceberg catalog. You can also combine this write capabilities with other Spice functionality. For example, what I'll do next. I'll add Kafka as a data source. I'll have real-time streaming events. I'll create a recent orders view that will simulate transformation of those Kafka events. And I will do filtering. For example, I'm interested only events in the last minute. I call this table recent events. And I also define Spice worker that will run every 10 seconds and will ingest my real-time orders information from Kafka directly to Iceberg orders table. Let me restart. I'm updated Spice pod, starting Spice. I see that Kafka connected my view registered initialized, and I can see regular worker events. So if I go to first to my SQL and query the most recent order event from the Kafka, I will see different rows, different information. So it's real time and it's populated. And if I query number of elements in my orders tables in the Iceberg, I should see it increased after each worker run. Waiting for worker. And you can see that it was increased. I can also go back and check my orders table to see that new data is coming, and we are writing on a regular basis to our Iceberg catalog. So in the demo, we saw how we can connect to existing Iceberg catalog, how to activate retry mode, how to use approach when we manually specify values to write to the table. So we specify this as a strings. And we also reviewed how we can use writes to the Iceberg tables using other table as a source. In my case, it was real-time Kafka events.